This is CM Russell, and welcome to Secrets of the Job Hunt. I'm sitting down today with Steve Gage. Steve is a recruiter and the President of Merritt Staffing here in Stamford, Connecticut, one of the top agencies in the Southern Connecticut market. And I'm going to interview him and talk about a few things about job seekers, what the market's like, and hopefully get you some advice out there. So, welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Chris. Glad to be here.
Okay. So what's the job market like right now? Is it becoming more of an employee's market? What kinds of things are you seeing out there? And what are the skills that are hot right now? What are people looking for?
The market definitely has changed through 2006, and I assume to expect the same kind of changes in 2007, where it has tilted towards the employee. Things that are hot, accounting has gotten to be a very desirable skill set. Sales assistants, e-marketing has also gotten to be more prominent, and I think across the board you can see that almost every category has increased in the number of jobs that are available for candidates.
Right. I hear a lot from job seekers that they kind of give agencies a bad rap, so to speak. Why do you think that is, and what are the real benefits of working with a recruiting agency?
Well, I think the first thing that candidates need to understand is that agencies are a vehicle towards finding a job. We all wish that we could get jobs for 100% of the candidates that we see.
Right.
And you have to understand that we see a lot of candidates. So I think that, candidates need to understand that we're one vehicle out of many. And we do see a lot of people, and we wish we could help everyone. I think that agencies will provide a certain benefit regardless of whether they get you a job or not. One of the benefits is they should help you in your interviewing techniques. They should help you in what your resume should look like.
Right.
And we can go into that in a minute. But I think that's where the bad rap is, that people don't understand that agencies are one piece to this job search.
Right.
And in addition, sometimes they don't understand how the agency works. When they do send your resume to someone, what is the process? Will you hear back or not?
Right.
What we try and do is explain our process to people who come in so that there isn't an ambiguity and an expectation that we can't meet. And I believe that helps, and I think that people who come in understand that. But that's where I think candidates have misguided trust. But we are one avenue,
right.
And I think a very good one. We usually do have an idea of exactly what our companies want. We can help people understand how to present themselves so that they put their best foot forward.
Right.
And I don't think they would get that in just knocking on doors or sending out their resumes on their own.
Right. Excellent. Okay. So, as far as job seekers go and their job hunting techniques, what would you say are the 2 or 3 biggest mistakes they make today?
Well, the first is the mindset. When you're looking for a job, you are in essence a salesperson. And I say that in the context of you're presenting yourself. And let's say an accountant, and they may be great with financial statements or the preparation of financial statements, but they're not necessarily good at knocking on all the doors they need to knock on in order to find the right employer that's going to hire them. And that's a very, you think it's an easy job, but you got to knock on a lot of doors and talk to a lot of people, and that's exhausting. It can bring yourself, your emotions down, because not everyone is obviously going to say, wow, I need you, and you're the right person.
Sure.
So that's the first thing. Be prepared to go out there and knock on a lot of doors. And as I said before, an agency should be one. As long as you understand there's an investment, it's not a guaranteed situation that you're going to get a job, but it's one of the doors you should knock on.
Maximize your search, in other words.
Exactly. Second thing is, I think that you need to understand what a resume does. A resume is a way to present yourself.
Right.
You should tailor your resumes to the jobs that you see that you're interested in, so that your resume will say, hey, I've done this.
Right. I always tell people to, whatever position you apply for, customize your resume to that job. For every job you apply to, customize it for each individual one.
Chris, exactly. And I think that even in your objective, realize that your resume needs to be what are you going to do for this company?
Right.
So if you think of, what can I do for this company as your objective, and how can you benefit them?
How can I make you money? How can I solve your problem?
Exactly. It's not about you, like I want to find a company that will allow me to grow to my potential. They would like to hear, how are you going to help them?
Exactly.
So, second piece is the resume. Make sure that it's succinct, easy to read. These people who are HR people read hundreds of resumes a day. Sooner or later, they need to have it as efficient and as effective as you can make it. And so, second is resumes. And third is, you need to, you have to be up and you have to be positive on your interviews. You need to say how you've gotten, experience from places and you've learned things, even if they weren't the greatest experiences for you as an employee.
Speaking of interviews, what do you think is the best way to make a good first impression on an interview?
Well, clearly you have to, understand the culture of a company. And if you're going into a company where it's very professional, you need to dress appropriately. Matter of fact, I would say even if it's a casual environment, you should dress as professional as you can.
How about the handshake? Is that important?
Everything's important. Handshake, eye contact, how you sit in a chair, the way you talk about your prior experiences. So all those, your interview is going to be basically, it's like any relationship. If it starts off in a very positive way, where you dress properly, you have the right body signals, a firm handshake, that you sit properly, you've already gotten off to a good start. You can build on it. If you get off to the bad start, you've got to now make up for lost time and lost opportunity.
Excellent. What's the best career advice someone ever gave you?
Well, I'm not sure it's the easiest career advice, but I think when in looking back, it's the best career advice. It's to be passionate about something.
Excellent.
I think if you can find something, an industry or a company, that you can be passionate about, it helps when you go to work. And I think coupled with that is surround yourself with good people. If you can find a group of people where you have the same values and the same goals, and hopefully those are positive values and goals, that it helps to go to work every day, because we do spend a lot of time with these people, and that's really important. And that's one of the things we try and do at Merritt Staffing. I think the group of people we have, we have a lot of stability, a lot of tenure here, and I think it's because that we all share the same goals in life. And it really does make it a lot easier to come to work every day.
Right.
Not so easy to find that. Sometimes, it takes a lot of digging, and maybe you don't jump at the first opportunity that comes to you because it just doesn't feel right.
Right.
But in the course of an interview, you, as a candidate, need to find that out by somehow asking the questions about who the company is. Tell me about yourself and why do you love this company so much?
Right.
And those are okay questions. I think, very often interviewers appreciate the fact that you are an individual that has goals yourself and enough self-esteem to ask those kinds of questions.
Well said, Steve. Thank you for your time today.
It's a pleasure.
We've been speaking with Steve Gage of Merritt Staffing, and you can find more about Steve on their website at merrittstaffing.com.